Hi and welcome to Fabric Bias. It is May 2025 and I'm doing a little experiment. Now that Joann's is going away, I don't have easy access to interfacings as much. I do still have a Walmart, but we don't have Hobby Lobby. And anyway, so I ordered a roll of this off of Amazon. I'll show you the code here. And I was curious to see if it'll work as well as the, let me see, what is it? 987F Fusible Fleece. So this is a scrap I pulled out of my scrap bucket. I do know that it's a Pellon product because I only use Pellon until now. So, and I use either Fusible Fleece or Thermolam. I know it's not the Thermolam because Thermolam is a tighter weave than this, but either way, this is what my experiment is going to be for that. So I'm going to open this guy up here. I've never even opened him yet. And I'm going to cut off a little piece. That'll be a little painful for me, but I'm going to do it. It's worth it, right? As an experiment. And then I'm going to press it. I'm going to make like a pillowcase, like an envelope style pillowcase. And I'm going to press these onto the inside lining of that pillowcase, and both this one and the Pellon and this product here, which I'm just going to put a B on. Oh, it looks like HBI products, I think. And I'm going to wash them and see how it goes. So I'll be back after I get all of that done. Okay, so I've just opened this roll and I'm trying to get it so I can get a piece off of it. And this is, oh, not too happy with that. I can't get this off easily at all. Maybe it's just this one roll that I got, but I don't like that. That's going to take a huge chunk away from something. So I'm going to have to cut this, I think, to get it off. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, so there's a negative there. It isn't a very wide roll either. I can't remember what it was. I think it was 15 inches. I guess I could measure it real fast. Oh, I guess I can't measure it real fast. Let's see. Yeah, so it's 15 inches, and I can't remember the length of it, but I'll put a link below to what I bought. Let's see. Yeah, and this doesn't say on here. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to have to go cut this to try to get a piece cut off, and I think that's going to take a nice chunk right out of here too. Well, not happy. Not happy with that, but that's really minor. Okay, off I go. Okay, so that's the spot right there that I took the tape off. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little puffed up. Not too bad. I think it'll still be usable. Still not thrilled about that, but it's not bad at all. Although I still haven't got it off this end. It takes two hands is what I've discovered. But you do eventually get it off. So I'm going to do that now. Ta-da! I did get it off. It did take two hands, and you can kind of see it's kind of warped up this part right here because it stretched it out. And we'll see if what that does. That's not really very much of a piece there. I don't like waste, so, but it's not a big deal. Still not a big deal. I'm laying that. The fabric is actually flat on my thing, and you can see it warped it up, pulling it off. Maybe you have a better way of getting it off. Maybe there's a better way of getting it off. That would be nice. But yeah. So, okay, I'm going to start cutting and figure this out. Okay, so I cut a chunk out of my roll here, and I purposely went longer than this piece just in case the Sharpie wears off. I also used a different color Sharpie on this one versus this one, just as a precaution. I don't think the Sharpie will wear off, but you never know. So the longer piece will be this product here, and the shorter piece will be this product here. On that end, I deliberately used my scissors and cut them off rather than just coming and cutting a straight piece off here, because I don't want any remnants of this one, any of the scraps, and this one mixed in with this one yet. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so now I have to go sew something up to start my washing. All right, back in a flash. All right, so I have all the pieces pressed on the Pellon. I just cut a few little scrap pieces just so it would be the same height. I can still tell that this is the Pellon side. This is the Hammer Brothers side on that one. And what I did was, so I found the directions on Amazon for the Hammer Brothers. And it was in a little picture, so I just took a screenshot and printed it. And what theirs is is press with an iron. Set your iron to medium heat. Press firmly in sections for 10 to 15 sections. Avoid sliding the iron. Okay, so don't iron this way, but press on that one. Let fabric cool and check the adhesion. On the fusible fleece, it is, I don't know if you can read that, but cut fusible fleece, well, let's see, place ironing surface with fusible side up. Place on ironing surface with fusible side up. Place fabric on top of fleece with right side up. To fuse, press firmly in place for approximately 10 seconds. Repeat, lifting and slightly overlapping iron until interfacing is fused. Let fabric cool, then check. So the way I do it, the way I've always done it with this is I actually use high heat, and I don't actually put water in my iron. I use a spray bottle and I spritz, and so I like to actually have a little bit of steam. And what I do is I will lay all of it down, and then I'll use a pressing cloth on top of it and just do a dry press, just so that it starts to stick. And then I take the pressing cloth off, I flip it over, I spritz it real quick, and then I press. And sometimes I slide a little bit, yeah. Okay, I will admit that I slide a little bit, but I try to press all the way around. I did deliberately on this one, so I went with the iron this way, and then I reversed it and I went this way because you know an iron's at an angle. So I went this way for 10 seconds, this way for 10 seconds, this way for 10 seconds. You know, I reversed it to make sure I was getting a fair amount for both pieces. And then I went ahead and went across this way again for another 5 seconds. So I did a pretty good adhesion on all of it. And it is now really cool. And so I'm just kind of, now that I've got fingernails, which I never have. Well, occasionally I have. If they accidentally grow, I have them. And you can see along the edges here, they are firmly, let's see if you can see that. Anyway, my pieces are on there really good on that. So they are attached. So I've also taken and double folded over my ends here and zigzagged them a little bit in reverse order. And so what I'm going to do now is take this to the machine and go from the edge of this piece and the edge of that piece of the fusible fleece. And I'm just going to stitch the sides here, zigzag the edges, and then I'll bring it right side out and it'll be ready to wash. So I'll be back. I'll show you that in just a second. All right, so there it is. On the inside, I did sew the edges and then zigzag the edges here. It really doesn't matter for this experiment. It's just that I didn't want it to fray because it would annoy me. And then the thing is supposed to be washed again and again. So yeah, you know, that'll make it last a little bit longer. So now this side in here, of course, there's our products there and there. You can see that there. All I have left to do is see what happens when I wash it. So I don't have any laundry to do, but for you, I'll be back in a flash. I'm not sure when I'll actually do this because I'm going to just throw it in. This one says machine wash, warm, delicate cycle, tumble dry low, or dry clean. Well, definitely not going to dry clean it, but yeah, so I think I'm just going to throw it in. I want to see how it holds up just if I just chuck it in the wash. Like I don't know the instructions or anything like that. I'm just going to throw it in with my regular wash and see how it holds up. Not my delicates though. That would kind of blow it on that. I don't want to wash it. I don't want to have to be delicate with it. I want to see how it holds up. This one, I'm not really sure what the washing instructions are. I'd have to go back and look. This is what came with it, unless there's further down in the roll and I just didn't find it. So, yeah. So, sorry if you can hear the sawing in the background. There's just a lot of crafting going on in here in my house today. Well, that's not in my house. That's in the garage. But, okay. There we go. I will be back in a flash. Okay, real quick before I actually go wash this. Remember how I was complaining a little bit about this tape thing? Well, I mean, I don't even know if it was on this end or this end. So, you know, can't tell. I can't see anymore where that was. So that just turned out to be like a 0 issue, I think, here. So, yeah. So there we go. All right, on to the wash. Okay, one last thing before I get going on washing. I did look into, I wanted to find out if the product was made, either one of the products was made in the USA. And as far as I can tell, no. Pellon, when I went to, I can't remember what the name of their website is, Pellon Products, Pellon, something. Anyway, you can find it on the website. I typed in made in the USA, and only 2 products came up, neither of which was this one. I think one was the Naked Tricot, but I can't remember. But when I clicked on the site, it actually specifically said made in the USA for that product. So I went to the site, their listing for this product, and it doesn't anywhere say made in the USA. So I'm going to guess no, it's not made in the USA. This product, when I went to their website, I couldn't find, no matter what I searched. I even searched this number, I couldn't. I searched Fusible, I searched Fleece. I couldn't find the product at all on their website. And so based on what it says on Amazon, it says converted in the US or something like that. You can, I'll put the link below and you can go look at it, but I'm not sure what that means. But it definitely doesn't say made in the USA. So if that matters to you, you can call them and find out what they mean on that. So their number's on their website. Both of the companies, though, are U.S. companies. Pellon is in Florida, and Hammer Brothers, I want to say Wisconsin. I can't remember for sure. And they're both family owned for generations, according to their websites, if I'm reading them correctly. So, yeah, generations of family businesses, which I think is really cool for both of them. So that's it. I'm going to go and finally get to go wash these, and I hope that kind of information helped. So again, both of them have websites, so you can kind of go look up those details yourself and verify that stuff. All right, I'll be back in a flash. Okay, so for this first one, I think I am going to just do a small load. I have this sweater I bought. It's nice bright yellow, and I've been waiting for an opportunity to wash it with something yellow. I have this yellow piece of fabric, and I threw that in there. And there's my little sample piece there. Now, just so you know, my washer does not look this clean normally. I have an old washer, and yeah, I wiped it down just for you guys. So, well, for me, because I wanted to. I have just a little bit of soap. Took that up. You can see, I'm just going to do a little bit of soap. I have an HE washer. I don't know if that matters, but I'm just going to do a little bit of soap for this first one because there's not much in here. And yeah, I don't want too much soap left over on that. So just going to do this quickly. I am actually going to wash this on delicate, which I wasn't going to do, but I don't want my sweater to be on a higher temperature there. So I'm going to do the first load on delicate, but don't worry, I'm going to do several loads. This is just the initial, and this is what I have to wash right now, so that's what I'm going to do, and we'll see how it comes out. So yeah, so there we go. I'm going to get going on that one. I'll be back in a while. Okay, so delicate, I did soil level heavy. This is the setting the machine does, low spin and cold, and then I chose deep clean and extra rinse because I always do. And I think it's been going for about a minute because I've been talking. And so there we go, here it is, and I'll be back in a flash. This is after the first wash and dry. This is what it looks like on the outside. Give me a second, I'll flip it inside out and you can see the inside. Okay, here it is on the inside after wash number 1. This was the delicate cycle. I don't know what actually it went into the dryer because my daughter went and put it in the dryer for me. But it's still really, really secure here. Both the products not coming up on the edges. So looking pretty good. Oh, here comes my cat. So there you go. Just checking out what I'm doing. All right, I'm going to flip it back inside or right side out again, and it'll go in the wash yet again. I'm not sure what day, but I'll be back in a flash. Say hi. Anyway, oh, and it's going to endure the cat too. There you go. All right, back in a flash. All right, so there we go. I'm going to go normal, heavy, so it'll be spin speed medium, it'll be warm, cold, and extras. There we go. And after the dryer. Still on round 2. Still looking pretty good. Yeah, on both of them. Okay. Waiting for the next wash. Okay, starting load 3. Here we go. Okay, so pulled it out of the washer, and I haven't even straightened it out or anything yet. So you can see, and still looking pretty good. Let's see, that is the Pellon side. I decided I would I have a Sharpie in here. I'm just making marks. So this is my 3rd time washing this at this point. My dryer's already running. I just started it. I'm going to go ahead and throw this in once I get it all right side out and move on. I'll show it to you after the dryer. And back in a flash. Okay, and this is out of the dryer on wash number 3. And again, I don't know how many times I've said this already or if I've said it all. I'm not following any instructions on how to wash it. I'm just throwing it in the wash however I feel like it. Sticking pretty good on both of them. My Sharpie isn't holding up here. It's almost all gone on that one. But so I'm going to stick it in the next load, which is right there, that setting. All right, I'm going to flip it back right side out and stick it in the wash again. Okay, this is out of the wash number 4, and everything's still looking pretty good on both pieces. Okay, into the dryer it goes. Okay, this is round 5. Into the washer. This time I threw it in with a load of sheets. And out of the wash. Still looks pretty good here. All the way around. Sharpie completely wore out of there. I'll refresh this one. Alright, I'm gonna turn it right side out and put it in the dryer. Okay, out of the dryer, getting ready to put it back in another load of wash. Gotta mark my number 6 on here. And looking still pretty good attached. So turning it right side out again and going to wash number 6. Okay, so this is a delicate cycle. And this is what my settings are. So wash number 6. And I'll be back in a flash. There we go. Out of the washer. Ready to go into the dryer. Looking pretty good. Alright. Okay. This is wash number 7. Okay. Wash and dry number 7. And still looking really good. Alright. Back in a flash. Alright. Number 8. That's what I'm doing this time. Okay, so this is after drying on round 8. Here, it's pretty good. I have a little bit of detachment right here, but I've also been shoving my finger in there, so it seems a little high. And this right here is exactly where all this bulk is, right here, from this seam here and this here. So, you know, there's that on that one. But still, yeah, otherwise completely adhere. So I am going to actually start the next load, and that's going to be my settings right there. Add some soap, flip this right side out again, and we'll be on to number 9. Out of the washer and into the dryer, still looking pretty good. I noticed this over here too is lifting up here, but again, it's also right here, barely. Also right where there's a big bump here in thickness of the stitching. But to be fair, I wanted to point that out as well. So still looking pretty good. Going in the dryer for load number 9. Okay, and here it is, 10 times with the Pellon on this side and the HBI on this side. And it's looking pretty good. I mean, really good actually. And look at that, these little pieces here of the Pellon that I just put on to make it the same size, patched together. I didn't even do a very good job. You can see the lines between them on that one. I mean, that's really good, both pieces. Just that little bit. All right, I'm going to turn it right side out and show that to you. There it is, right side out. And not too bad. Okay, back in a flash. Okay, here it is. Done. I actually just pressed this, which is the first time I've pressed it since the initial time that I put the Fusible fleece onto it. So I got it all built, had the fleece pressed on, and then sewed my little envelope together, and then washed, dried, washed, dry, washed, dry, washed, dry 10 times, and then I went ahead and pressed it just now. So that's going to be the first time. So let's take a look at it from here. Ugh. Making a big mess out of it. But here we go. There we go. Oh, I didn't do a very good job pressing it. Okay. But look, there's oh, So this one, there was an issue with the Hammer Brothers where it had lifted in one spot, and that's gone. So that pressed right back on after I pressed it. So that's cool. Yeah, it looks really good. Looks really good. Except I didn't do a very good job pressing. That's okay. I'm not going to fix it because I'm done. I did also put out, this is the fabric that I cut this from. This hasn't been washed as many times as this one. I do wash all my fabric before I sew with it, so it's been washed, but not 10 times like this one. So I thought you'd like to see how that turned out. Let's see if I can match it up. There we go. And yeah, that still looks pretty good too. And remember, when I did this, I did not follow any particular, washing instructions on this. I didn't follow the rules that comes with this product. I just chucked it in with whatever laundry I had. So I know I did it on delicate a couple times. I just did it on the normal setting a couple times. I washed it with the sheets one time to see how it went. So I didn't follow the rules. I also didn't follow the directions on how to press it on, either one of them. I used a method I like to press it on. This always worked for me. And I went over that at the beginning of the video. So, there's all of that factor involved in that. I kind of wanted just to see the product, how it would work with the way I would use it, or what my expectations would be for using it. Not, I'm not going to run to my closet and go, whoa, how am I supposed to wash this? Every time I wash it, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. And then I'm not going to put a little slip with it either, because I'd just lose it with the washing directions. So I'm like, okay, more than likely I'm just going to chuck it in with whatever load I've got going and see how it goes. And so that's what I did to experiment to see. And so that's kind of how it worked out. I really like this product. I like both products. This is, of course, new to me, the Hammer Brothers. I've never bought this before. I've been using the Fusible Fleece from Pellon for a long time. And yeah, they're both great. This one, I know, I like to buy the Pellon off the bolt, so it's 45 inches wide by whatever your cut is. On that one, this is only 15 inches wide, so that could be an issue for somebody, not for me. You can actually place them next to each other and fuse them next to each other. You don't have to have a whole cut. You can piece it together, which I do all the time. So this is a project my daughter's working on right now, and this is something she does. She sews a lot of, I think, I'm not actually sure which one she's sewing, but of the couple of bags she likes to make a lot, this is going to work for her, the 15 inch here. So the 45 inch isn't going to be an issue for her. If it were, I would probably be considering the Pellon more than the Hammer Brothers, depending on the price. So for me, it's going to come down to availability for me, because again, Joann's is gone. I'll have to check and see. I was at Michael's today and totally forgot to see if they actually carry the 987F by the bolt there. I don't know if Walmart carries it either. And other than that, Michael's and Walmart, maybe a quilt store, I might be able to find it. I'm not sure. Anyway, I don't have right now a local supplier for Fusible Fleece that I'm sure that I can get it, other than maybe in the little, the 987F in the package, which I don't like to do. I'm going to look at seeing, I like to order by the bolt. I just like to have it on hand. So that's what I'm going to be looking for is where can I get it? Where can I get whatever I end up getting easily and the most cost effective and the most practical. And I don't know what that is just yet. I'm still figuring it out. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. It was certainly helpful to me. I really wanted to see if, if there was an alternative that I could get to this, just in case I can't get, my 987F. And yeah. Okay, so I love that I have alternatives here. Really great choices to use. That's kind of the most important thing. I just have to figure out sourcing and cost. And yeah, so there we go. I hope this was helpful to you. I hope that wherever and whenever you're at, you're having a great time, and thanks for watching.